We're in Bowmanville, Ontario for the launch of the new Ford Bronco.
A vehicle like this comes along every 25 years apparently. It's the last time they had a Bronco, so let's get in and take it for a drive. Giddy up! We're in the Bronco, the all-new Bronco, 25 years out of the market. It's back. Andrea, what's under the hood?
A 2.7-liter Ecoboost V6 with a 10-speed automatic transmission, 310 horsepower, and 400 pound-feet of torque.
The base engine is a 2.3-liter Ecoboost 4-cylinder with a 10-speed automatic transmission, 270 horsepower, and 310 pound-feet of torque. And that's available with a 7-speed manual transmission. It's basically a 6-speed transmission with a low-speed crawl feature. It's mind-boggling how many different trims and features and packages you can get on this, combining engines, transmissions. There's probably tens of thousands of configurable options on this.
And accessories.
And accessories. But right now, we're going to get into what are the key standard features on the base model.
Here are the base model features for the Bronco. Sync 4 with an 8-inch touchscreen, wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, cloth seats, 6-way manual driver and passenger seats, leather-wrapped steering wheel, remote keyless entry with push-button start, LED headlamps, 30-inch tires with 16-inch wheels, a spare tire, and terrain management system with 5 G.O.A.T modes.
We've got these G.O.A.T modes, go over any terrain modes. What are we going to put it in?
You got to put it in S for subscribe, and if you can hit the notification bell, you'll be notified when the videos drop, and then you can watch them all.
5 videos a week. We do this, a couple car review every Wednesday.
We drop another couple car review every Saturday.
Monday, it's the live show.
Tuesday's always a comparison.
And Friday, a cool old collectible car. So subscribe, hit the notification bell, and also follow Instagram. It's Motormouth_Andrea to find out when the videos drop, and mine is Motormouth_Auto, and the links are below. This video is brought to you by Car Cost Canada. Get the dealer's cost, list of rebates, plus discounted interest rates. Use the promo code Motormouth to become an expert member and get extra searches. The link is in the description below.
We have had an amazing experience. Ford has put on a real show. We did some off-roading. We had the Badlands trim. We did a water feature. We did a cottage trail. And this vehicle is so capable.
What I love about this is the same thing we pointed out when we drove the Bronco Sport, the smaller version. By the way, there's a card here, you can watch that video. So they have this suspension calibration, they call it HOSS, H-O-S-S, high speed off-road stability suspension. And boy, does this work. You go flying over bumps, it doesn't bottom out, and it's so smooth.
Oh my gosh, we went through some really, really big potholes, didn't we? And
at speed,
and you just don't feel it. It's quite incredible.
So the big difference between this and Jeep Wrangler, for instance, is this has independent front suspension. The Wrangler has a solid axle. Now, if you're doing the most extreme rock crawling, those guys will still want a solid axle. But for most people, this is going to be more than capable. So independent front suspension, and then a solid axle at the back, and then you get all of the electronics.
And what I like about the independent front suspension is that when you're in the city and you're driving on the road, it's smoother, it doesn't wander, it doesn't drift. Sometimes I get that feeling in the Wrangler. That's not the case with the Bronco. The Bronco has got this amazing terrain management system called G.O.A.T, go over any type of terrain, and it has 8 modes, but 8 modes aren't available on every trim, and there's only 6 available at a time.
And we had dinner with the head of product planning from Ford Motor Company here in Canada, and he tried to explain it to us, and I said, it's like chasing your tail. You think you're going to catch it, but you never do.
He knows everything.
He knows everything, but like it just makes your head spin.
So the 2 doors get a hard top. The 4 doors get a soft top, but on the 4 door you can purchase the hard top for $795 Canadian. And on the 2 door you can accessorize with a soft top.
Yeah, that's at a dealer dealer install, you're going to
Yeah.
buy it from the dealer. So this vehicle you can sort of take apart and put back together. And I asked, why would you want to take the fenders off?
Yeah.
And they said, well, if you're really going bushwhacking with this and you don't want to scratch your vehicle, you can basically, with some hex bolts, take
Yeah.
everything off, drive through the bush, put it all back, and your car looks like brand new.
I am just so impressed with this Bronco. I didn't think that it would be like this. It has amazing off-road capabilities, but then you get it in the city and it just feels so comfortable and smooth on the road.
I think that I would, you know, personally, if I was single, I would get the two-door because I just think proportionally it looks so cool and kind of like the original. But obviously common sense takes over when you got a family. You're going to get the four-door. You're going to get the fixed roof for cold Canadian winters.
Yeah.
And it's felt line too, which is different from the Wrangler that has the hard plastic. So I think it's quite comfortable and would be, you could easily use this for a daily vehicle.
For sure. And when it comes to tires and wheels, it's 16 to 18 inch wheels and 30 to 35 inch tires. You get those 35-inch tires on the Sasquatch trim.
And the Sasquatch trim you can put on any of the models that they sell.
Yeah.
So it's a nice package where you get the bigger wheels and you upgrade to the 2.7 liter engine. What else do you get?
Yep, you get the higher clearance. You get best in class water fording at 33.5 inches. Without the Sasquatch package, it's 31.5 inches.
Well,
it's
Andrea,
pretty
while-
amazing. The Wrangler gets 30 inches.
But while we're talking about it, let's watch it in slow motion. So there are so many different trims that you can get.
Yeah.
Then you could add on different packages to the outside like the Sasquatch. Then you can choose different engines. You can do different roofs. And then you go inside and then you can add even more complexity.
Yeah, so there are 3 packages to choose from. Here's the thing about the packages. One comes with a heated steering wheel
I want
and
that.
the 10-speaker B&O sound system and the wireless charger. The other one comes with heated front seats.
I want that too.
And the other one comes with the larger 12-inch touchscreen.
I want it all, Drea.
So you're going to buy them all?
So that's what I want to know is, like, if you get the top one, the luxe one, does it get everything below it or do you have to stack them all up?
So some trims get standard packages and others you have to add the packages onto the trim. So it can get a little bit pricey.
Do you see what they've done, Andrea? They've taken 3 things that people really want.
Yeah.
Heated seats, heated steering wheel, and the bigger screen, and they've broken them up because they want more of your money at the Ford Motor Company.
It's just the way it is.
Now, I think the interior is kind of plastic fantastic, but I'm going to give it a pass, Andrea, because this is built to get dirty.
Well, we saw that in the Land Rover Defender. You see it in the Wrangler as well. These can come, we've got the Wildtrak trim, and it can come with leather trim seats, but also cloth seats and a marine grade vinyl seat and with rubber flooring. So it's really for off-roading and that sort of capability, having the doors off if you want and the roof off and just getting it dirty. I agree with you, Zach. There's actually quite a bit of plastic in here. I thought maybe there'd be a little bit less, but I get why they do it.
Now in the center of the dash, we didn't talk about this in our driving impressions just a moment ago, but there's the different buttons. The 2 cool ones are the locking differentials front and back. That's for going off-roading.
Yeah.
Also there's the sway bar disconnect, and we utilize that going over the big bumps.
Yeah.
And man, this thing just eats up bumps. But there was one cool thing that Andrea did. I videotaped it on the outside. You lock the inside wheel and it helps you pivot on that tire to get around a corner.
What a feeling. So we locked it. I turned the wheel as far left as I could and I just kept spinning and spinning, and it was an amazing feeling, and I just can't believe that this vehicle was able to do that.
So the way you do this is when you are off-roading, you've got to go around a tight corner on loose dirt or mud. It's going to pivot on that inside wheel, or you could do it on snow. You know what, Andrea? I don't see coffee here. I think we're going to have to stop.
We didn't get any coffee.
We're going to have to stop and get a coffee.
Yeah.
And answer some questions.
Time now for questions, coffee, and cars.
Now, Andrea, because we're in Ontario, I should have had a Tim Hortons.
Tim Hortons,
But
Timmy's.
Right, it's a very short day today, so no time to stop for coffee. But we'll get into the questions from Instagram.
What's the issue with the hardtops? Ford made a big deal about the 4 removable panels and how they all store in the back, but now it's 3 with a full width one in the back. Also, is it plastic fantastic for the interior? Okay, so we talked to the product planner about this, and yes, you're right. These two
panels come out.
Yeah, they come out and you can store them in the back and you can buy a bag for them. But this one is too big.
Yeah.
So what you're going to have to do is before you leave your house,
Yeah.
keep it in your garage, you know, on a sunny day.
The problem is that, yeah, if you're out somewhere and you anticipate maybe rain, you're not going to take that one off.
No. And plastic fantastic?
Yeah,
well, it is a little bit. Yeah, but I guess Zach and I feel it's an off-roading vehicle, so maybe they can get away with it a little bit.
They get a pass.
They get a pass. Is the B&O sound system in this as bad as everyone says? I find it's fantastic in my Badlands Bronco Sport. Not quite as loud as my Sony system was in my Flex Limited, but separation and clarity is far superior.
I think B&O does a good stereo system. We have had the stereo off for most of the day because we've been filming. I will say, though, that one of the things that I really like about Wrangler is their roll bar is right behind your head.
Yeah.
And then they have the speakers mounted. So when you're driving along, even with the roof off, the speakers are right by your ears.
Yeah.
And that, I find, is a really good system. But, you know, B&O is doing pretty good stereos, I say, in Ford. So
I think so.
You'd have to give it a shot.
Yeah, we turned it up, kind of cranked it up a bit because we knew we had to answer this question, and I thought it sounded really good.
Yeah.
Once you get your hands on one, would like your opinion on the quality of the door closure. Since the windows are frameless, they have to lower and raise to create a seal to the roof of the truck. Apparently they don't lower fast enough when opening and closing. Fine. And
I mean, this is such a common thing in the car industry. It's not a big deal.
I am curious about the volume of the road noise. Also, would you recommend this vehicle for daily driving or only for off-roading? Yep, you do hear it. I mean, we've got a hard top here, not the soft top. And when I talked to the product planner, he did say that the hard top is quieter.
And also, we've got the Sasquatch package on the one we're driving just now. We're inside, not showing you the outside, but the big ass tires on it. And as Andrea's mentioned in the video already, so the Rubicon we had recently, Andrea complained that it tram-lined, it grabbed every rut in the road. This really goes over everything well, and I would easily drive this every day.
And I kind of blame that on the larger wheels with the Rubicon, but these have 35-inch wheels and you still don't feel it. And also the rear view mirrors are not on the door. So when the doors come off, you still have your mirrors. And that's it.
Oh, we're done.
Yeah, we're done. Thank you so much for all your questions. This one is on the road and we've had a lot of fun doing it.
Don't forget to follow along on Instagram. It's Motormouth_Andrea to get your questions in. We keep one question back from Questions Coffee and Cars and expand on it. It's our hot topic. What's this one, Andrea?
This new Bronco looks really, really nice and all, but I think I'd get a Wrangler 4xe instead. I like the looks of the Wrangler a little bit better, but I do have to admit the interior of the Bronco is top notch. Do you think Ford has what it takes to compete with the Wrangler?
I think this is a better everyday vehicle.
Yeah.
It's more comfortable. The Wrangler is fantastic, but this is more luxe.
I like the fact that you can drive this in the city without any drifting at all. It feels really comfortable on the road, but then you get all those off-road capabilities. The only thing about the Wrangler is there's more engine choices. You get the diesel, you get the PHEV, you've got this solid 6.4 liter V8 in the Rubicon 392. And you've got the 4-cylinder and the V6.
Yeah, there's lots of choices. I think there'll be more options coming from Ford as the years go by. But the engine we have in this, the 2.7, the Ecoboost Turbo V6 with 400 pound-feet of torque it is fantastic. And that 2.3 liter 4-cylinder Ecoboost is no slouch either. It's got 300 horsepower. Unfortunately, we haven't had a chance to drive it today.
No.
But I would gravitate towards the 2.7 with 400 pound-feet of torque. That speaks to me all day. So this is a body on frame 4x4 off-road capable machine. There's not a lot of them out there.
No.
So let's have a look and see what else you can buy.
For your consideration, 4 vehicles for you to consider.
Up first is the Jeep Wrangler 4-door base engine with a 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder, an 8-speed automatic transmission, 270 horsepower, and a starting price of just over $49,000.
Next is the Toyota 4Runner. It has a 4-liter V6 and a 5-speed automatic transmission, 270 horsepower, and a starting price of just over $46,000.
The Land Rover Defender 4-door comes standard with a 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder, an 8-speed automatic transmission, 296 horsepower, and a starting price of just over $65,000.
And finally, the Mercedes-Benz G-Wagon, the G550. It has 416 horsepower, a 4-liter twin-turbo V8, and a starting price of almost $155,000. So there are 4 SUVs for you to consider. Now, Andrea, it is very tricky, as we mentioned, with all the different configurations that you can get with a Bronco. But you know what? We're going to try our best with vital stats.
Let's start with pricing. The base 2-door Bronco starts at $40,500. The base 4-door is $45,749, and the top Wildtrak 2-door trim is $56,500. The 4-door is just under $60,000. Since this is a brand new vehicle, there are no quality and reliability scores. For resale value, we went on the Ford site, and according to Ford's own lease calculator, the Bronco will retain 35% of its value after 4 years.
Here's the fuel economy. The 2.3-liter base engine gets 11.7 liters per 100 kilometers in the city, 10.7 on the highway. That's 20 miles per gallon city, 22 miles per gallon highway. The larger 2.7-liter V6 gets 12.8 liters per 100 kilometers in the city, 11.6 on the highway. That's 18 miles per gallon city, 22 miles per gallon highway. The Bronco can tow up to 3,500 pounds, and the warranty is 3 years, 60,000 kilometers, or 36,000 miles. Lightning round. 2 things you like to see improved.
I love how this handles and how it looks. So iconic. What I'd like to see an improvement is with the packages, not have each thing that people would want, heated seats, heated steering wheel, 12-inch screen, in separate packages, and maybe a little less plastic in here.
For me, I love the Haas. The high-speed stability of this thing is fantastic, and I love the 2.7-liter engine. However, what I'd like to see them improve is I'd like to have the 2.7 and a manual available. You have to get the automatic, and I'm with Andrea. They could make it a little less plastic fantastic on the inside, but overall, fantastic.
Ford nailed it with this Bronco. They are going to sell a ton of these.
Already 190,000 orders have been placed for this vehicle, so it's already going to be a great seller. But once people who have ordered them get a chance to drive it, they're going to be impressed. This video is brought to you by Car Cost Canada. Get the dealer's cost, list of rebates, plus discounted interest rates. Use the promo code Motormouth to become an expert member and get extra searches. The link is in the description below.